Okay, whoa.
I'm the meat chef.
Well, I don't like Facebook because I can't find a job.
Do I smoke meat? And you go and you betrayed me.
I am on a good place.
I didn't mean for this to happen.
That's right, I'm married with a family.
Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Move. Did you get an Instagram story?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I'm picking an emoji. Are we cowboy hat guys or are we sunglass guys?
We're
Cowboy hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So, you'll-
Nice.
There's
So-
that synergy that we all know and love. Guys, we are starting recording. Look at 9/11.
Oh,
Happy 9/11, everybody.
that's good.
This is
9/11 in the morning, Saturday morning.
Yeah. Oh, that was a funny
We're-
meme you sent about August.
Oh, yeah. About the dread of August coming. Did you see that? I sent it to the group chat.
No, I missed it.
Oh, it was just it's a photo from Enemy. It's Jake Gyllenhaal leaning against the chalkboard, and I wrote over all the things on the chalkboard, and one of them was, it was like August, 31 days heat wave, work becoming too intense, and then in the background it said 9/11 is on the way. Hey, here's a question. Do you guys get freaked out around 9/11 and being in New York,
No.
even now?
Not really.
You
I
guys
think-
aren't afraid there's going to be like a retribution attack? Like
No,
a new
I
one?
think, much like everyone, they've got a little pride. I think they don't want to be on the same day. I think they want their own day.
Oh, like if someone were to do a new one, they want to be original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they want to be. I think they want to be remembered for their own thing.
Yeah, and we never forget 9/11.
No,
so,
no.
so, yeah.
Although maybe it could be called 9/11-2 or the Great 9/11.
The great.
the great 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah, we're living in a before World War II era of 9/11s.
Yeah.
Another one's definitely coming, right? That's not FBI if you're listening. That's not me saying that what's happening. But did you guys think somebody's plotting something?
I feel
Maybe they might not execute it, but somebody's working on something.
I mean, all this shit in Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
They've been getting hit
They
pretty
get
hard.
a lot more shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do all their subways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever get nervous on the subway?
Always, but for so many other reasons.
Oh, just general stuff?
Yeah.
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 Not as much as I get at an Ariana Grande concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy they bombed an Ariana Grande concert.
There's a bomb, right?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
She took
man.
like a year off and then married Pete Davidson and then,
She has
Terrorism.
and then divorced him right afterwards.
and her ex died.
Yeah, Mac Miller.
A lot.
That's a rough year.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
a tough year. Did you guys ever listen to Mac Miller?
People are like canceling her right now for some tweet she made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She hate gay people or something?
No, who's that little child that was disappeared?
Oh.
JonBenet Ramsey.
Yeah.
She tweeted about JonBenet Ramsey?
I don't know. She tweeted at someone about can't wait to be like this for Halloween or something. I don't know.
Oh, my
Man,
God.
what is she, like a hack open mic
You know, I hope
comic?
this.
JonBenet Ramsey is the most hack premise.
I
at this
was
point.
asleep all day at work scrolling through tidbits of information. So I actually could have made all this up out of multiple different things. So
I never knew about JonBenet Ramsey until I saw hack open mic jokes about it.
I actually still don't know anything about her.
It's just a kid that's dead.
She's like a beauty pageant, like a kid beauty pageant
Yeah.
person.
And she just disappeared, right?
Yeah, people think like one of her family members killed her or something. But I don't really
not
watch the
funny,
murder.
but-
I don't really
Isn't
watch
there
the
like
murder
a theory
shows.
that she's still around?
I'm sure.
Like
Yeah.
Elvis?
Her and
Or
Elvis.
Tupac.
Her Elvis and Tupac are shacked up
There's a
somewhere.
John Benet Ramsey 3D
Oh,
performance.
hologram. Oh, boy. All right, for all the fans out there.
at the next
Little Miss.
Little Miss Parade,
Yeah.
Sunshine, whatever it's
Oh,
called.
yeah. Little Miss Parade.
3D.
You said you were saying that you don't like murder stuff.
I don't really like
These
those
murders.
the true crime
I'm
shows.
in the same boat. What is it? It's women. Women love them.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's very
not
sexy.
all women.
A lot of women love them.
Only women love them.
A lot
I
of
don't
them.
love them though.
Yeah.
I was super into Making a Murderer. Is that
Yeah, the
not
first
like
one.
How to Making a Murderer?
Yeah, yeah.
And then because it's so captivating, they like pull you in with all this like, oh, maybe he got framed, all this stuff, and then you ends and you think about it for 1 second, and you're like, he did it. You're like, he 100%.
He did it, and then he did another crime afterwards. He like got out, or he like went to jail, and then they're like, he's framed, and then he was out of jail, and they're like, he killed another guy.
I think he was like, so. Oh yeah, for the story, he was like initially framed, or he was put into jail for a rape, and then DNA evidence proved that he didn't do it,
Yeah.
and then he went back to jail for the
Right.
murder, which
Oh,
they're like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
murder was framed.
Right.
Because they like
right.
the police department has it out for him because they are mad that he escaped his first frame job or something.
Yeah. But he definitely murdered that person.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty.
Yeah.
How'd you guys feel about the first Serial?
I didn't listen.
I never listened
really?
to it.
That was one of those ones where everybody, it's like a classic, but everybody's like talking about it, and I, in my brain, was like, I will never listen to that.
Why is that?
Because you know when people all talk about something and you get that like you got to be like the guy that doesn't listen to
Sounds
it.
like a unnecessary contrarian.
Of course,
It's
of course. I'm saying
give it a shot.
I was being that guy.
really-
I was the
being
same way.
like a-
It
yeah.
like it like blew up, and for whatever reason, it made me
Yeah.
not want to listen to
Yeah,
it.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
There's like two camps nowadays that always exist with everything. There's people that over love stuff, and then there's people that are the people that are like, fuck that thing. That's it. You can be one of the two groups. That's like everybody.
Oh.
But for everything. Like Game of Thrones, remember Game of Thrones? There's the people that would all tweet about it. And then there was also the subset group that was like, if you tweet about Game of Thrones, you fucking are an ass cheek. And you're like,
Get a life,
yeah,
losers.
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Oh, who died on Game of Thrones? Your virginity. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, dude, there were so many tweets where it was like legitimately.
Yeah, but you
watched
were
Game of
getting so
Thrones.
riled up. Someone would tweet an anti-Game of Thrones things, and you'd be reading it to me while I'm watching Game of Thrones, and you're like, yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Oh,
stick to
so and
the
so's
things
talking
that-
mad shit about Game of Thrones right now. I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I still think I'm not a well. That was not a contrarian thing. I don't like dragon stuff.
Well, you came in at the wrong time then, because dragons really only enter at the end when it's bad anyway. So, I mean, there is
Yeah.
more stuff earlier, but they weren't a huge part of it.
There's like little baby dragons.
So you
for a
don't
long
like
time.
imagining things.
Am I imagining dragons?
Yo,
Yeah.
glad to be over here for that one.
Yeah, man.
What was S-Town? You guys ever listen to S-Town?
That was
No.
like Serial Part 2, right?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't associated with. I mean, it's it's probably the same like NPR people or whatever. But no, a guy goes to, I forget what town, but the guy he's interviewing calls it Shit Town, so it's called S Town.
Yeah.
But he's going for a story and everything unfolds. It's like perfect, and then you want to know more and you can't stop listening. So it's a really good. It's a good podcast. S Town. If you don't like this one, check out. Just kidding. You could listen to both.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Then I kind of fell off, and then like Ted Bundy had like a resurgence.
Yeah.
And
He's big right now.
Yeah.
Ladies love Ted Bundy.
Man, I never got into any serial killer. I couldn't
No
tell
faves?
you. I couldn't tell you which one did what. I couldn't
get 'em all
do a
mixed up.
map of kept them under the basement. Was a clown.
Like Dahmer,
Yeah,
Bundy.
put him in the river. I know the
Yeah.
Green River Killer, but I don't know his name.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I don't know.
There's like 15 Seattle guys.
There was a Connecticut River killer. I knew him. That was a guy. He was just. But you know what? He didn't even kill people in Connecticut. The Connecticut River goes all the way up to New Hampshire. Killed people in New Hampshire.
No.
Yeah. There was a terrible open mic like sketch improv comedian at the Women Who Farm mic on Wednesday, and I leaned over to you during his set because he was doing like all bad comedy, but then he came up with a great premise that was like, I feel like terrorists are jocks and serial killers are nerds, because it's like, I'm going to make you figure it out. It's all a game. And I turned to Damien, I was like, man, if his comedy wasn't so bad, that premise was like fucking great. That was a great premise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it sucks that he figured that out, because a good comedian can make that really funny and not do,
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Who are you talking about?
I forget. I don't know his name.
I know his name.
You know his name?
Yeah.
Say it. I don't know his
Damien
name.
you don't need to say his name.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
No one
and show
even
it to you.
cares, do they? Do you guys care?
What the name is.
Is he gonna listen?
Who?
Is he gonna listen? No, I won't. I don't know enough about him to besmirch his name.
Yeah, but I am okay saying that the way he packaged his comedy was not good, but that premise was
Yeah, he
good.
definitely was not good. He was definitely not doing well. Was he doing well?
You know
I can't
what?
remember.
I feel about serial killers the way you feel about dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Like someone starts dropping the Zodiac, and I'm like, I don't care. Get me away from this, you know? And there's someone
Yeah.
else that's not the Zodiac that I always confuse. Who's that other, like, California dude?
The Golden State.
Well, there's the guy
Oh,
that's,
the Golden State one, yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Who's the guy
he
that,
like retired from his murdering days and raping, and
Then he
has
came
been
back,
living-
right? Or no,
he just got caught.
he just got caught. Yeah.
He just he put it on the shelf for good.
who is
those days were over.
Who's the guy that mailed stuff to the government?
Unabomber.
Yeah, Unabomber.
And the Unabomber is separate from the Oklahoma bomber, right?
This is how little I know about all this. I have no idea.
The Oklahoma City bombing. See, yeah, me either.
That was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think he like loved the manifesto of the Unabomber or something.
right.
Yeah, the
Unabomber
Unabomber
was in the 60s or something, right? 50s or 60s?
I don't know.
Wait, this is a pure speculation podcast.
Just a lot of guys go, how about, I don't know. I don't know. The Unabomber had the famous look. He had like, of all the, he had the glasses and the hoodie.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
ooh, the Unabomber.
yeah. They
people
like
still
based
call you the
every
Unabomber.
terrorist after him in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was another good one? Waco. What was that? That was a cult leader, right?
I will say I'm not interested in serial killers, but I am interested in cult stuff.
Yeah.
Cult stuff is fascinating to me. What's the one where they drank the Kool-Aid is so interesting to me.
Jonestown?
Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting that you can get people to commit a mass suicide without them knowing and all that. It's like crazy.
Dude, there's some stories about them kind of knowing and then
It's
just going
even
along with it
crazier.
and- yeah.
Scientology is very interesting to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's like very, it's very. What interests me about it is the human psychology of how to like brainwash people. Because I don't know, I'm very gullible, but I don't think I would ever fall for something like that. So I'm like, what made these people fall for that?
Well,
I don't know what it is, but I do know people who yeah, like they follow like that in things outside of cults, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, not to be all British comedy, but like we're watching like a religion develop in real time.
Which
We're-
one?
Scientology, because we're like
Oh,
watching
yeah.
like
Yeah.
what if you go fast forward 1,000 years and like, well, this thing is 1,000 years. You go, oh, okay, well, I guess it's based on something. But because we're watching it form, because the guy who made it just died and he wrote science fiction novels, we're like, well, this is not real. But if you knew the guy who wrote the Bible, like if you're the guy who wrote the Bible's brother, you're like, this is bullshit. This is not.
Yeah. If you're like,
You're listening to Ed? What, Ed's writing
Yeah,
under
yeah,
a tree all day long?
right.
dude, my brother sucks.
Well, but the thing is, that's what's kind of interesting because now we're in the era where you can record and there's video of him, you know, like
Yeah.
being a weird sci-fi writer on a boat.
of of Elron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
His
Like
name is
there's an actual traceable history of him, whereas the Bible it was like it could be from anywhere. You could say
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
from God, and that's good enough, you know.
And when you think about it,
Even Mormonism.
And that's why you're a knobhead. If you believe Scientology.
hello.
Because people don't understand, we're doing a bit about how British people make fun of you for being religious.
Yeah.
Yeah. British people will be making fun of you for fundamental values. British people will call you out
Dude,
for what
British
you
people
think.
talk about what the they're like the white women of, you know, so they're calling everyone out, but they once took over the entire world.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh,
Yeah, look at this.
I don't know if white women's the right, but you know,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
They I think they've now been an unsuccessful country for long enough that they feel like they've got the right, I guess.
They
Yeah.
can do like call out culture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
comedy. Well, Nanette is British, right?
No, she's Australian.
Australian?
Ugh.
She's from Tanzania,
Oh, really?
right? Or yeah,
Tasmania?
there's the
I have
yeah.
no idea.
yeah. I can't do it.
Yeah,
Australian.
I hate comedy, but I'm going to make a comedy special.
Special.
Okay, neither of those are Australian accents.
It was.
I think they were close.
Nope.
Yeah, I was doing the little kid.
Yeah.
I'm on the
Yeah.
good list.
Yeah, yeah.
Little kid
Yeah.
video.
Actually.
I'm on the good list,
Which is in
actually.
the theme song, if you've been wondering.
Yeah. He's featured. What's his
Yeah.
name?
Little lad tells.
No. What's the kid's name? He says his name in it.
Oh, Jackson? Is it?
Jackson. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jackson. What a great name for a
Yeah,
British
yeah.
kid. See, if British people just stayed how that kid is, and they didn't get all hoity-toity about
Dude,
American
that kid's
values.
hoity-toity about like Santa.
That's what I'm saying. They should just stick to that.
Oh no,
Like, don't
Santa
get-
turns into I want my taxes back.
Yeah, it's really funny when a kid's like complaining about not being on the good list,
Yeah.
like for Santa. But if it turns into like
an adult world. It's like
you keep saying that word in one word, but I deserve money. I deserve your money.
Yeah, they were. Well, they also got. It's funny the Brexit thing. Everybody shit on them for that.
Yeah,
So-
and they just like elected like another,
Yeah, I heard about that.
or like another, like was appointed or
Yeah.
however another guy that.
Sucks.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really know enough about British politics, but
Yeah.
what do you want to know?
Boris Johnson. What's
you want
the
to know
deal?
about the Tories or the no, I don't even know, the Labour Party?
I'm not saying that you're like this because you're not, but there was a time when I was in college, and I've said this before, and this is where my resentment comes from, that liking British stuff was your personality.
I think that's probably still a personality.
It definitely is. And
Yeah.
I just hated that,
Yeah.
you know?
That was big when
I-
like Doctor Who.
Yes, when I was in college, there was a girl whose door she turned into the Doctor Who elevator. or, phone-
The TARDIS.
Yeah, and she like made that, and her whole thing was that she liked the British Office and Doctor Who and telling me I'm stupid. Those are her three favorite things, and I didn't like it. And I don't think that just because you like British stuff makes you interesting, you know?
Yeah. But you also never really gave British stuff a chance, did you?
No, I've watched British stuff. I used to watch that sketch show where the guy walked with the big phone. What was that one? He walked with a big phone.
I have no idea.
And then there was a guy that dressed up in a cat suit and he pooped on a field. What was that sketch
Is this
show?
Monty Python?
No, it was a sketch show on Comedy Central. It was like Chitty Chitty, I'm British bag or something.
There is a
Comedy British Bang.
It was something like that. And I've also watched like Simon Pegg movies. I like Shaun of the Dead.
yeah.
That one's good.
Yeah.
So I like some of it.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff.
Yeah,
I love
Yeah.
I love Peep Show. I know I tried to get you to watch it, but I love Peep Show.
You tried to get me to watch it.
Yeah.
It's one that's like real close up. And it's all like POV.
I remember I went on a bad first date with a girl, and she loved comedy, and she was like, "Have you ever seen Peep Show?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know who loves Peep Show?" She was like, "Who?" I was like, "A guy that you'll get along better with."
She sounds fun.
I was gonna say I should have set her up with you.
Sounds like maybe the bad date was you.
Fuck.
Nope.
You got wrecked, dude.
Dude, I'm destroying out here.
Dwayne Collins
This-
savage moments.
This is the problem with the night podcast. We get roast Dwayne. We get roast Dwayne.
Oh man, I can't remember. I remember I was like a Doctor Who guy in college,
Yeah.
and maybe I just got caught up in the British sci-fi fever. I don't know.
I'm glad you landed back in Mad Men American Town, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
You do
ended
love
up-
Mad Men.
I do love Mad Men.
He ended up back in America.
Yeah. Do you still watch
Yeah,
Mad
back-
Men? Will you still go back?
Mad Men.
Mad Men? Madman.
Madman. Yeah, I rewatch it every like year and a half, 2 years or something. I
Wow.
think it's coming up on 2 years
Mm.
since I rewatched it. Yeah, I just love it. It's just like we talked about it last pod, but it's just like a mirror into, like, whatever you see is just like a reflection of like you. I feel like a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me want to smoke. That's why I can't watch it.
Yeah.
I legit can't watch it. I have a pack of cigarettes in my bedroom right now, and if I were to put on Mad Men tonight, I would go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Did people really smoke and drink that much back then? They were always saying that, but like, did they really?
I don't know
I
about
don't know.
drinking. Definitely smoking, though, right? People be smoking back in the day.
Like, were people really drinking every day in the office?
That feels a little much. I'm on your side, but I
Yeah.
do think
Yeah, I don't
smoking every day, definitely. Because they didn't know it was bad yet.
No, yeah, definitely
Right.
smoking.
And I think
Smoking era.
advertising especially had that sort of like vibe of we're partying all day.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there
But-
were still plenty of people who were like, smoking is gross. They never show them. They never show the person walking in being like, oh, I fucking hate this. I hate that I have to live like this.
Yeah. Well, they knew it gave you cancer then.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it
they
was
have an
like
episode about it in Mad Men.
it's the first episode.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says oh, 2 packs a day, but you're cutting back
Yeah.
or something. He's like, yeah, you want to cut back to like a pack and a half pack a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it was people were just doing it because I think it was like drinking is now, maybe, where we're like, I feel like there's heavy publicity about like you really should not be doing that, but we're like, yeah, but
Yeah, drinking is interesting. The drinking culture, I feel like, especially nowadays, like with social media, it's like now not stigmatized anymore. But it's also, we have the hyper health knowledge too, so it's like both sides. Where it's like drinking is like, it's like, you know, Gen Z or whatever, where it's like, I have a glass of wine every night because I'm sad, and this is don't drink shame me. Like, that's like the new culture. And then also there's like people that are like, you know, hyper health nuts that are like, you shouldn't have a sip of alcohol in your life because it's only poison to your blood. And then there's other people that are like, I drink and fuck you if you say I can't. It's like, I don't know, it got destigmatized and more stigmatized at the same time.
At least once a week you see like a sobriety post online, or like I've decided to give it up.
Yeah.
And you're like, he gets like 300 likes, and I'm like, oof.
You just see that enough, though, where you're like, oh, this can't be good.
Yeah.
So many people are
Right.
happy that when you quit, it's like, oh, they made it out.
Yeah.
They made it out of the...
Also, you just get 300 likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's an easy
sweet.
300.
I don't think I would ever post about that because just
Well, if you relapse, it's like, yikes.
the sheer commitment online to stop. It was so much easier for me to stop and not tell anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I basically stopped smoking. I smoked like heavily for like almost 5 years, and I kind of stopped for the most. You guys see, I never smoke now, but what was that? You guys heard that?
The squeak?
That's my phone. I think someone I know just ran, and it's a running app. It lets me know that they ran.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that to like shame you into running?
It's like it's like Map My Run or like Strava. It's like one of
Yeah.
those group app things that like
Oh.
you post that you exercise.
I've never heard that gone off before, so are your friends running
It's
enough?
it's funny. I have one friend on it,
Oh, okay.
and I don't even know if we're close friends, but I do
What's
know
their
when
name?
she works out. Annika Sila, she's a comic in Seattle, or she probably moved to California.
Well, she just ran.
Yeah, sometimes it's like did calisthenics or
Oh.
swam 2 miles, or
Stretched
something.
lightly.
Yeah. You can put in whatever you want.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What was I saying before that?
Smoking?
Oh, I was saying like how we were talking about the post online and how it was easy for you to. It was better to not post. Like, I basically quit smoking, but didn't post because I knew if I have a cigarette every once in a while, I don't need someone to be like, but what about your post? You know, it's like, just let me-
Oh, Mister,
Yeah.
I'm smoking again.
yeah. Then you get
Yeah.
that. So I'm like, just let me smoke if I want to smoke. You know, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing it as much as I used to, but I still want to smoke every once in a while.
Did you find this like when I quit smoking, and for me the biggest part of having to quit smoking wasn't even the cigarette, it was the mentality that I adopted as a smoker, because I knew cigarettes were bad for me, right? So I had this like what's it called in psychology, where you have two opposing thoughts,
Oh,
like a dichotomy of
cognitive dissonance.
I had a cognitive dissonance. Anytime I'm smoking, I know it's bad, but I want to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I just had to accept fully that it's bad, and I therefore never exercised, ate whatever the hell I wanted, and like that was worse for me, I think, than the smoking. You know,
Yeah.
You became like nihilistic about
and I
it.
partied all the time too.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't care. And then once I quit smoking, it's like, well, now I can exercise and
Right. Well, that's why people that quit drinking, they, like everything else goes up in their life too. They start eating better, and they start
Yeah.
exercising and all that sort of stuff.
smiling more.
For me, quitting smoking was or quitting the amount that I used to smoke was just, it made me nuts. It would like kind of just ruin my brain a little bit.
The amount you used to smoke.
What? Yeah, it was
yeah.
too much. It was just like, I was a smoker in college where I would go out for a cigarette like every,
Yeah.
hour, and it's just like, that's just
Oh.
too much.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Well, also, I'd be waking up in the morning early 20s, and I'd be drinking, having a few drinks at night, smoking,
Yeah.
waking up in the morning, no breakfast, cigarettes, coffee,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
then going and like building fucking cabinets and shit, and my hands are tingling.
Oh my god. It's like a
And
Hemingway
I'm like,
book.
What? Yeah. I'm like,
That
what
was-
is going on? And then then 15-minute break in the morning, I'd have coffee and a cigarette, and I wouldn't eat till like lunch.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
my problem was that my problem with smoking is that I love sober smoking. My favorite thing is cigarettes and coffee. That's my favorite
I've never smoked a cigarette sober.
Oh,
Yeah.
to me, it's better than a drunk cigarette. You know why? Because you can't feel a drunk cigarette.
Dude,
you feel
Yeah.
a real cigarette.
You say
Get
that,
head
but
rush.
like there would be times where you'd be
Love
like
it.
2 beers in, and that one
well,
cigarette.
Yeah,
ooh.
Yeah.
Sure. That's
Coffee and
definitely.
cigarettes. That's the combo. That's like
It's the best thing in the world.
the thing.
It'll
That
make you
awful
shit
movie.
your brains out.
you gotta be buzzing, right?
Yeah.
With both of
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wake you up.
Well, you know what's funny? The coffee gets me going, and the cigarette kind of glazes my eyes over. So it's like I'm awake and then I'm glazed. It was perfect. I want it tomorrow, now that I'm talking about it. I was texting with my friend Alex he quit cigarettes too.
Yeah.
And we started texting about cigarettes, like the way they taste and the way they feel.
What are you
And then
doing
the
to this? Why are you doing this to yourself?
And then the two of us were
Uh-huh.
like, let's start smoking again.
It's so funny. You describe it like a long lost love.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I love it. It's
I don't
don't
miss
know.
it at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like it as much as I did then.
No, I loved it. That's I mean, I smoked
You didn't like it at the end though.
because it was out of control.
Yeah, me too. That was my thing. Yeah. it was too much.
The lack of control is purely what frightens me with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could not smoke. I mean, a lot of people say this isn't a lot of people. There are some people who can casually smoke, but like the only time I didn't want a cigarette is when I was smoking one.
Yeah.
So
Every time I have one cigarette at a party or a bar or something or whatever, if I just want to have a cigarette when other people are smoking around me, I always buy a pack of cigarette the next day. That's why I have one in my bedroom right now. Is because I had a cigarette at Alon's party, and the next day I went and I bought a pack of cigarettes.
See,
Yeah.
that's what's crazy is I couldn't do that.
Right.
Maybe I could now that
You
I
probably
haven't
could.
smoked in fucking 6 years, but I'm not willing to try
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I remember trying to get over it.
Right.
I think I've lost more willpower too.
Well, you're older. Once you're older, your willpower goes. You're like,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like,
Is it?
yes, I think
Older
so.
people always
Yeah,
get
more,
healthier.
more of like a fuck it vibe. Is that what you're saying?
Especially if you're like getting really older, right? You get like you get more
maybe.
like fuck it kind of, you know?
I don't know. I don't want to die unhealthy.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up being vegan by the end of my life.
Yeah. Just last
doing
year.
yoga every day.
Every decade you drop something.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
you could be vegan?
I think I could be vegetarian.
Mm.
I think cheese would get me. I think that's a tough one. But maybe if like if you paid me like $1,000 a year, I could probably be vegan. but like,
If we bought your carrots.
yeah. But
It just comes down to what Damien just wants to save money. That's really what it comes down to with him. Oh, if it's cheaper, I'll be vegan.
yeah, it'd be tough. I think maybe in the future. I think things are getting better. All that like science is getting better. Those things taste better now.
Right.
So I think that makes it easier. Gluten, I don't know. That's tough.
Yeah, bread's good.
Yeah.
Bread's good.
Well, that's still vegan. You can still eat bread.
Or are you saying like giving up gluten?
Yeah. Gluten, I think, would be a tough one.
Yeah. Dairy?
Yeah, I could cut. Well, that's
Cheese.
cheese.
Cheese, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You get around it.
Most people need to give up dairy as you get older because your stomach's like turns into sludge.
Get out of here.
Yeah, your stomach hates it.
You start shitting bricks.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember my grandpa eating like bran oats every morning. And I just remember being like, I don't want to live like that.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like as you get older, you might get a little like, fuck it, I'm eating bacon. I'm 70 years old. I do know old.
My dad's a bit like that.
Yeah, you ever see an old man? Like I feel like I knew older. You know, when I used to hang out with older men when I was a child, but I feel like old guys are like, they're like, I'm eating sausage and eggs every day.
Getting the Grand Slam,
like,
Denny's.
yeah, when they're
Yeah.
like 60 years old, because you're like, fuck it, I've made it this long.
Yeah, you can't tell me anything.
Yeah, let me eat my fucking sausage if I want.
Yeah, and then
it.
you die with like 40 pounds of impacted fecal matter in your colon.
Yeah, John Wayne.
Yeah.
He was filled with eggs.
This guy hadn't shit in 3 years.
Well, he was in that movie,
Is that
right?
true,
where he,
though?
where he
Is
ate
that
all
really
1,000
true?
eggs.
You really have that much poop in him?
I think
I've
yeah.
never heard the story before.
Well, the
they-
story is that when
I think
they-
it's like a health nut story that they're like, poop can stick to your insides.
Yeah,
Look
he
at
had,
John Wayne.
he had like years of shit in his body.
This is like a savage moment against John Wayne. This is like a tough.
He actually had a moment in Seattle. I think he died or like his the end of his life. I think he lived out in Seattle.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
we have some a lot of people, famous people who died out there.
Oh,
What's his face? Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee died out there?
Do you
He's
guys
buried
know,
out in Seattle.
Do you guys know the Bruce Lee curse? Have you heard about the Bruce Lee curse?
What's the Bruce Lee curse?
Apparently, Bruce Lee. So he died young,
Yeah.
and apparently Bruce Lee's Bruce Lee's grandfather, betrayed someone in the old country
Uh-huh.
a long time ago. And then this is the lore, is that someone put a hex on his family and said all of your sons will die at an early age, and then every single one of them has died young, including Bruce Lee's son.
Well, Brandon Lee got shot on the
set.
Crow.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
And died, and Bruce Lee died young, and his father also died young.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Spooky, right?
Are they over?
I think that was the last of them,
Was
right?
Brandon?
Did he have a son?
He was pretty young.
Is the curse finished?
So I think it might just be over now.
Yeah, unless there was like a brother or
It
something.
was like
I don't
they're
know.
killing him off.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? It's crazy that kept happening, though. When you look at the history of it, you're like, man, that's nuts. It's kind of like Hemingway. Everybody killed himself, and you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's a ton of suicide by shotgun in Hemingway's family. That they all shot themselves in the head or something.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch of them. Like his father, and then him, and then his son, I think, or someone related to him that was
Right.
his children shot himself too.
Oh man.
I think that just means depression runs in their family.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's what that
and
means.
shotguns were readily available.
Yeah.
Well, also, before the effects of alcohol were known.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about
Major
a guy.
alcoholic.
Man, Hemingway must have never gotten a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that's maybe all it
He
was.
was just- he was just like
He's
seeing.
just like, I feel awful.
Is that? Did he? Was he one of those guys who like thought the FBI was like looking at him?
He got paranoid. at
Yeah,
the end
yeah.
of
It's
his life.
probably like because he had no REM sleep.
Yeah.
He's just like the FBI is chasing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking too much and not
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it.
Seeing
Yeah.
G-men in the shadows,
Well, the other guy, Scott Fitzgerald, he was a big alcoholic, right?
Well, he literally died from it.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
liver's
Oh my god!
like he had what's it called, dialysis. He,
There was
died of alcohol.
My friend, she was reading his wife's autobiography.
Zelda?
Zelda's. I think she wrote a story, and she's like telling stories. And one of them, there's a part where like they're both drunk at a party, and she falls asleep on top of him. And she goes like, "Oh, that's so cute." And I'm like, "Is it?" The man who dies of alcoholism, they're just getting wasted at a party, and no one's like, "Should we do something about it?" It's like, "Oh, look at Zelda and F. Scott Fitzgerald are passed out." And
from her perspective, it's like, it's so cute. Everyone else at the party is like, these drunks are just ruining this party.
Yeah.
He had a very, very sad end to his life, F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he probably did the whole leaving Las Vegas route, right?
And he also was writing for movies in Hollywood.
And he couldn't wrap them up.
Yeah, like he couldn't write what he wanted
That
to
is
write
leaving
anymore.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, and then he wrote a short story right before he died in this collection of short stories. I read it in my Hemingway and Fitzgerald seminar class in college, and the story is about an old guy that just gets on the bus and rides around town on the bus all day, and then goes home and drinks, and he hates his wife. And we read the short story, and my professor goes, and when we come into, we had lecture, and then we had discussion, and so on discussion day we had to read that story. Professor walks into class and he goes, "Anybody figure out what that short story was about?" And he goes, "Pretty painfully obvious, huh?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, everyone hated Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda was like the original Courtney Love. She was like
Oh,
the-
really?
Yeah. Have you guys read A Movable Feast?
No, I have it.
Oh,
I'm
Hemingway.
halfway through, but I
Was your mic off?
No.
Oh, okay. Hemingway. Hemingway was he in that book shits all over Scott and Zelda.
really.
Yeah. He says that his dick doesn't work in it. It's pretty savage.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day, it's pretty savage.
Well, then I have more respect for Zelda sticking around him.
Yeah. Well, his dick probably didn't work because of the alcohol, right? Those
Yeah.
must
Yeah,
have been
probably.
what it did.
But
Yeah.
Hemingway is like, I drink and my dick works.
Yeah.
And when it won't, I'll shoot my head off.
The day that Hemingway couldn't
Yeah.
get hard is the day where he looked down and he went, "Oh,"
Yeah.
blew his head off.
I mean, it always felt like a bummer to. You always learn that after you read all these books. You know, you'd
Yeah.
read them all, and I don't know. It was like right at the cusp of the internet, and I wasn't like Googling Hemingway, so like I wouldn't always know like that they died. I wouldn't know anything about the authors really, and then
Right.
you'd start learning about them. It's like it's crazy that all these people that I'm supposed to take tips from
Yeah.
and information from just killed themselves.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's like the heroes thing. Is that there's no heroes or icons anymore. Not that there ever was, because that goes to your point. But it's just like you like really love someone, and then you look up and they're like, they actually strangled their wife. Isn't that interesting? And you're like, that's not interesting. I like that guy's music.
Yeah.
or whatever. You know.
What was with Hunter S. Thompson? I remember he killed himself, and you know, when I was a kid, I was very anti-killing yourself. You know, then I grew up. But no, I was like, oh well, he killed himself. Then like, you know, I remember being like, also I was super religious, so I was like, well, I could dismiss anything important he's got to say. And I found out he killed himself when he was like 80 something.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
he was done. You know, he had
Yeah.
lived his best life.
That's like the move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Hemingway. Hemingway was like, you know,
Pretty
I think
old.
It was, it was like in the 70s. He was referred to as Big Papa by the time he was killing himself. So
Yeah, he sat down in that chair and was like, you know, I've killed enough elephants in my life.
Yeah.
I've written enough books.
yeah,
What
he's
did
written stories.
what Tennessee Williams do with himself?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but we were just talking about earlier today about Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote Walden. That's a perfect example. It goes exactly with what you said. You don't know about the author, and then famously the guy that wrote Walden about living in a cabin was his mom was bringing him sandwiches, and he was going into town every day.
It's like, this is a very enlightening experience.
Yeah, yeah. He was. I think I said he
If
was.
I could suggest any way to live, it would be in nature with a mom who brings you
Who
sandwiches.
brings you sandwiches?
I was saying that was like the original version of like you learn that kids with rich parents that can't pay their rent are creative are the ones that are going to make it in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the original story of that.
Well,
you know?
the deleted chapter is the chapter about how hard it was when she couldn't come to the cabin in the winter. So she couldn't bring her sandwiches.
Yeah.
When they ran out of hummus.
Yeah. But Mom,
Oh, no, I feel
How am I going to write about the lake? Oh, he's not British, but I don't know.
it's like the modern version of like taking an Airstream around the country and doing Instagram.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
well. One of you guys said it. I forget who. He's like an influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm living wild. I got this neck beard. It's so hard in the wild to trim the
Yeah.
part under my chin.
You really got to respect the nature. If you ever think about it, it's there. Like, sometimes we get lost in our metal cities, but
But also, like, I remember looking up, was it Walden Pond or whatever?
Yeah, Walden Lake.
Walden Lake.
Yeah.
And, like, I zoom out. I'm like, it's pretty close to civilization.
Well, that's what. That's the other thing is that he
so
would
over the
go
river
in,
and through the woods to grandmother's house.
yeah, he would go into town too, and buy supplies.
But see, like I said, I haven't read the book, so I don't know if he's also like, he's not like, hey, live only in the woods, or if he's like, hey, live in the woods and also get your mom's sandwiches.
no, I read the book. He does not. He
doesn't?
his prose is literally like, it was rough out on the woods. I saw a bear today. Did you guys know that bears are real? I'm learning about death. And then he's like,
Wow.
my sandwiches.
So funny.
He's a fucking cuck, kind of. You know?
yeah.
I
OG,
almost
like,
want,
but like Bear Grylls.
well, yeah, yeah, Bear Grylls. There's that video. There is a YouTube video where it's like him scaling a mountain, and then it pans over. And there's like a hotel. It's like right near civilization.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He ate all those bugs.
He did eat all those bugs and
He did
drank all that piss. And
squeeze the water out of the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So you gotta honestly respect him for that. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Maybe now I'm in the wild. And I'm like, I don't know what to do except squeeze water from shit, drink my own piss, and eat cattle hearts.
Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
learn how to forage, but you did learn how to.
Yeah.
You did learn how to.
Yeah, he
cut
could have
up-
showed you basic rock climbing technique, but instead he was like, maggots are actually protein, and you're like, oh, that is interesting.
Okay.
There was one thing where he's like squeezing into a tight space, and he goes, "Every part of you wants to panic," and I was like, "Yes," and he goes, "And you just have to not do that," and I was like, "That's good. I'll use that."
That's good stuff.
Well, that's that Navy SEAL
Yeah.
Yeah.
training or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
SAS or whatever he was in.
He was a Marine or something.
Yeah.
Well, it was a British.
Yeah.
British Marine.
Where they just like drop you in water and they're like, you're going to be under there for 12 minutes and you're going to want to freak out. And you will. It's like, okay.
Well, that's what I remember. I was getting really scared to fly, and my brother Kyle was like, "This is my brother Kyle's advice." He goes, "If you're up there and anything happens, you're just dead." That was his advice. He's like, "That's how you deal with it. You're dead."
Oh, I'm dead.
And I was like, in my head, I'm like up there being like, and then it starts to wobble and something, and then apparently my brain is supposed to go, "I'm dead."
Well, see, that's where I disagree because I am not dead. I am aware that I'm now going to die.
Yeah, of course.
If the plane is going down, I have time to think about it, and that's what I
Yeah.
do not want.
Yeah.
I want a swift.
All right, now put this oxygen mask on, and now you are dead. And you're like, oh, cool.
in about 8 minutes.
You will be able to breathe until you
Yeah,
die.
yeah. You want to be awake for this?
I want to get loopy in like high altitude.
I was gonna say, would you guys put the mask on if you were really going down?
Yeah, because who knows?
I guess-
They're not telling you like if you're for sure going down.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure it out.
Have you guys ever had the mask
put-
dropped on you?
No.
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 Have you?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
No.
That's like too much of a.
Sometimes they drop them though, right?
Sometimes they drop it accidentally and stuff. We're like, oops. Like if there's a change in cabin pressure, they immediately drop.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
yeah.
it's not like in Fight Club; they do actually work. If you're up at that height, you'll go loopy and you can like die in like a minute and a half or something, like less than that.
Well, it's like, doesn't your heart stop?
no, you're just not breathing oxygen.
Oh, right.
Yeah, your just brain dies.
But
Well,
like
they-
what,
oh,
what,
yeah.
You get
what
permanent
happens
brain
is
damage.
before you even die, you get giddy, and you get to a point where you're so giddy you can't even help yourself.
There's a YouTube
kinda
video.
fun.
Yeah.
There's a video.
I like that.
Yeah, there's a video a guy like did a couple years ago. Put it on, and they're just filming
Smarter
him.
every day.
Smarter every day.
Yeah.
And they're filming him the whole time. And they go up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm good. And he's like, "All right, so you can just put the mask on whenever." He's like, "Yeah." And then they're like talking to him. He's like, 2 + 2. And he's like, "Oh, fish, man." He's like,
and then they're like, "Put the mask on." He's like, "Yeah,
I'll put the mask on."
And so they had to put it on him, of course.
I kind of would like. I don't know. I kind of would like that.
Well, it sounds like a good way to go.
That's what I'm
the better
saying.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if you're dissenting, you're like, you pass out, and then you're like, oh, no, I can think again.
Although if you got permanent brain damage, then you're probably like, whoa.
You're just always.
Yeah.
That reminded me of something that used to horrify me, like reading books as a kid, like pirate books or something. There was a torture they would do where they'd throw you over the front of the boat.
Oh.
And you'd be on a rope, and then you wouldn't get picked up until the boat went completely over you.
Oh.
Yeah, so you could survive,
Yeah.
and that's your punishment, right? But you could also die, and then some people would just get brain damage.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
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 So
Oh my
that
God.
always, oh man, that shit used to scare me. Like stuff that would never happen to me.
Ancient pirate torture.
Dude, in Hook, the boo box.
I
guys
don't remember.
Oh,
No, I don't remember.
Oh, do you guys watch Hook?
Yeah, I saw it.
You love Hook?
I don't love Hook. I like Hook.
I like Hook.
Yeah.
Guy makes a mistake. He questions whether or not Hook could actually capture Peter Pan's kids.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Who doubted me?" And then he finds the guy, and he puts him in the boo box, which is a treasure chest with a little hole in the side, and they drop scorpions in.
Ooh.
So he's locked in the treasure chest with scorpions being dropped in.
Oh man.
Speaking
Horrifying.
of childhood torture movies, Matilda, the closet with the spike door.
Oh, like an Iron Maiden kind of
Oh,
thing?
an
That
Iron Maiden.
scared the fuck
That
out
getting
of
close
me
on you?
when I was a kid. Yeah. I think I was a claustrophobic thing. The scene where they put her in there, I told my mom to turn it off. I was like, turn it
Oh,
off.
really?
Skip this scene. I am done with this.
The ones where they
like a young king.
where they like the slots and then they put swords in as
Oh
they're in there.
yeah.
It's so funny that we're all like 10 laying in bed, like eyes wide, being like, what if I get put in an Iron Maiden? What if they stretch me on a Spanish Inquisition table?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. The one with sticking the swords in. That was I forgot about that one. That one's
In cartoons, they were always able to bend around them. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
whoop.
You dodge them.
Dodge. Oh man. Yeah.
What else? What else was horrifying torture? I was also always scared of aliens.
I was kind of scared of aliens.
Because it was such an unknown. I had no visual reference even for it. I didn't imagine green men. I knew it could be anything.
Yeah.
You know, so I might hear a noise outside and it could be a muck. It could be anything. And
Mhm.
that
You guys
always
ever-
just kind of freaked me out.
You guys ever see a UFO when you were kids or something? Did you
No.
ever have a memory of that?
No.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
wish.
I wish
Yeah.
that too, because that'd be like, it's like seeing a ghost. You're like,
Yeah.
ooh, there
Yeah.
is something more. Like it's that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. I would have loved to have seen a ghost or something.
Yeah.
My whole family has my uncle's house in LA is supposedly haunted, and like everyone else in the family, besides like my dad and like someone else has like had an experience with the ghost or something. And I'm like, that sounds so much fun, like so much fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
So my uncle was coming home. His story, but my uncle was coming home from like vacation. He hadn't been in his house in like a week. And he shows up, puts his bags down, gets the keys in the door, and then he just hears a voice go, like hello, Greg, and then he takes the keys out, picks the bags up, he's like, well, I'm going to stay somewhere else. He's like, I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
There was a somebody's story where I don't know. Would you guys? This was a story that I think Nick Swartzen told. It's like Nick Swartzen's story, but he said they filmed The Longest Yard at a prison where the worst prison riot in history ever happened. It's a famous prison riot. If you look it up, it's the most famous. The guards were taken over by the prisoners, and they like burned people's eyeballs out and really crazy stuff.
Wow.
And like killed everyone, killed all the guards, and like tortured them and
Really
stuff.
setting up to imprint ghosts.
That's what I'm saying.
Putting that energy,
Yeah,
ghost
yeah.
energy in
And
the
he's-
walls.
And he said, I think about this all the time. He said that they filmed The Longest Yard at that prison, this historically haunted prison, and apparently Adam Sandler paid his assistant like $5,000 to sleep in a cell in this prison that's closed. It's not open. No one's there. Sleep in a cell with no phone, nothing, overnight, locked in a cell, like lights out. And apparently the guy did it. And this is according to Nick Swartzen. Apparently the assistant came out and was like, I heard things and I saw things and my life has changed forever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And I think about it and I go, would I do it? Would you guys do that? Knowing
No.
you
Yes.
wouldn't do it? See?
Oh,
This-
Jesus.
I want to know.
Yeah, dude. I think I would do it.
No escape.
And they didn't let him out till morning. They went and got
Would
him.
you
Yeah.
have to be by yourself?
No, that was the rule.
That's the thing is like I don't trust my mind enough to let me see reality.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So my mom and like my aunts and stuff were in my uncle's house, and they would always describe this like feeling of eyes on you, and I'm like, but like, what is that?
I know
I-
that feeling.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
that feeling every day of my life.
Right,
I feel like people are following me home once a week.
The worst is when I wake
Yeah,
up
yeah.
at like if I like wake up like suddenly awake at 4 a.m. I hate that it always happens right at 4 because it's like the witching hour,
Yeah.
and I'm like, of course, you know. But then there's this eerie. There's no lights on, but I can see everything because my eyes are so adjusted. And I usually get up and get some water or piss, but everything is blue. Right? Mm-hmm. And I just, from walking from my room, I'm getting like goosebumps thinking about it, but walking from my room to the bathroom, I just like whatever it, because I'm like, it's nothing, but I feel like I'm being watched.
Do you guys ever have that energy? Have you ever had the feeling when
Oh, man.
you were a kid, when you'd go downstairs to the basement area, if you had a basement or something, it was really, we had a spooky basement in my house.
Yeah, yeah.
And
All
every-
basements are spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If-
and
name one unspooky basement.
unless they're finished, like they ever done over with carpet and stuff.
That's called a ground level.
Right. Basically, yeah. So we had an very unfinished basement. It was like
Garden level,
cellar-
actually.
cellar floor or whatever. And every time, didn't you guys have that feeling when you were a kid where your mom would be like, go get this thing, and you run down there and you grab it, and then you just get that like,
Then you
and
book
then
it.
you run out. Yeah. It's I have had that feeling a few times as an adult, and it's always like similar to Dwayne's story where it's like I just feel like something's off. And it's like, I just told the story, it's like when I don't sleep enough, but here's the thing. You know, when you don't sleep enough, your mind goes crazy. I was up at like 4 a.m. and I'm looking at my closet and I go, there's a guy in there. What's he doing in there? I check under my bed. I'm 27 years old. I check under my bed.
Yeah, I don't check under my bed.
Sometimes you gotta do it.
I do think of something grabbing me, but
yeah.
I know it's not going to.
Yeah.
I just think of it.
But you wouldn't even consider staying over in that prison. You wouldn't even think about it.
By myself, absolutely not.
You would.
Yeah.
I feel like you trust your mind enough to do it.
Yeah, but it's more the if something happens, that's the coolest thing in the world.
In
I've
the
just-
moment, would you think it's
Then you
cool?
know.
No, but in the moment,
No, in the
would you
moment, I'd
think
be
it-
terrified.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yo,
saying.
but I've listened to like I don't know how made up they are, but they seem so real because it's like NPR story type stuff, you know, and they're like, we went to this asylum, and then they just like, it's nothing actually happens, but doors are locked and noises are heard in the distance, and I could not handle that.
Yeah,
I would kill myself running into something to get away.
Oh my god, I'd be like
You know?
drawing pentagrams in crayon on the wall. I'd be like, let's get it.
Anything that will work.
Have you guys ever gone to abandoned buildings and stuff? Have you ever done that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't bug you.
No.
Like spooky hospitals or something.
Yeah, abandoned mental hospitals.
Yeah.
that's-
Asylums.
Asylums.
Also, like my mom is major, like most Irish women, major superstitious, and so
Yeah.
she's like embedded that in me a bit. Like she got mad when she found out we played Ouija.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We played Ouija? Oh, with tarot cards?
Ouija board. when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant us three.
Yeah.
Did we do that house activity? Did we miss that?
Honestly, this October, let's do it.
Ouija
She
board.
didn't really
We
get
should definitely
mad.
do
She was
it.
just like casually like, "Oh, you got to be careful about summoning spirits." I'm like, "What, Mom? Why did you not tell me this?"
Yeah.
That's like kind of like I had that joke about it, but where it was like using a Ouija board went terribly wrong, and it's about when the get ghosts. This is like your mentality. You're like, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you want, right? Kinda.
Yeah.
So if you stayed over in the prison, you would want something to happen.
I would want something to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard like right in the middle of sleep or right before sleep heard your name yelled?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You've never heard like a voice yell? It's
Like-
basically like your own thoughts, but it almost feels loud, like audible.
Yeah, like wakes me up and I go, oh, it's like someone want me or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never had that.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever had sleep paralysis?
I've had it where someone has yelled like "wake up." That's
yeah.
that's like
creepy.
this is too purposeful,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's too creepy when like your dreams recreate your exact room and the exact position you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
feel
that's
like
kind of sleep paralysis.
and you feel
Yeah.
like Mysterio is getting you or something. He's like illusions are being created.
I had like a weird 3 months in college where I got sleep paralysis like 4 times in 3 months.
Oh man.
And I couldn't stop having it, and I almost went to the doctor to be like, something is wrong. And I told my girlfriend at the time, and she had never heard of it. And I was like, yeah, sometimes I was like, do you ever wake up but your body's paralyzed? Like you can't move but your brain's awake? She was like, no, that seems awful. And I was like, oh, I thought everybody had that. She was like, no, they don't. And then I almost went to the doctor about it, but then it went away. It just stopped.
I had
I haven't had it. Oh, geez, whiz. Here's your superstition. I was gonna say I've never had it since.
What
a perfect. Did you see that? It was like superstition. Knocked on the wood. Reaches for his water bottle.
Oh, is he gonna knock on the wood? No,
I gotta-
Damien.
I gotta hydrate for my nightmares.
I got it. Damien's like, I gotta find ways to get this. I need to know what
Yeah.
it's like to
I
have
mean,
sleep paralysis.
Not to be all like woke, but it's like the most straight white male perspective. I'm like, man, there's got to be more, and people are like, there's plenty more. There's plenty more problems.
That's like. Did I ever tell you guys this story? Like I used to be like that, but it's weird. I'm like more scared as I got older. But did I ever tell you guys my mom? This isn't like directly related, but my mom sent me and my brother to like a Catholic day camp where like it was like you had to like you worship for all day when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
And I hated this thing, and I just didn't want to be there. And I thought everybody was weird that was doing. I was like over religion at this point. I'm like 17, or whatever. And so is Kyle, my brother, who's with me. And at one point, a monk notices that, or not a monk, but the guy that wears the, whatever.
Yeah.
He's wearing the outfit, and he notices that me and Kyle are not participating. And so he comes to talk to us, and he pulls us aside, and he asks me. He goes, "Guys, I gotta tell you that like here's an example. Like if I told you that Jesus was right out there somewhere, would you go and try and find him?" And I was like, no. I was like, no, I would not. And then he goes, what if I told you he was like right around the corner? Would you go over there and look for him? I go, no. No, I would not. And he goes, what would make you want to go and find Jesus? I go, if I could see him right there, I'm going to say hi to Jesus. It was like I had seeing is believing mentality. But now that I'm older, I've like lost all that,
You want to walk around the corner?
I'm more open to the idea of any of that stuff. And I'm like, if somebody yelled "wake up" in my room, I'm like, that's a ghost. I'm moving out. Fuck this. Like immediately, I'm just not the skeptic that I had this like,
Right.
this like youth of like,
Well,
I don't believe in nothing. I'm whatever. And you're like, you don't know anything.
If you were more of a superstitious person, you would think someone is saying it probably, but it definitely feels like a dream.
Oh.
The voice, right?
Yeah. Well, as soon as you're awake, you're like, that wasn't real.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's like you almost hear it in the dream state. But
Yeah.
sometimes it'll happen right before I fall asleep. And it doesn't
Yeah.
even have to be like my name or something. It'll just like maybe a loud sound.
Do you guys ever get this? You ever had like you're not awake, you're not asleep yet, but you're dreaming? I always have it with movement, but it's like you're dreaming, you're definitely dreaming, but it feels so real when you're still falling asleep. I had a dream one time where I was skateboarding, and I went to do a kickflip, and in bed I went like this. And I
Oh,
woke
yeah.
myself awake.
Yeah.
I used to
Woke myself up.
always dream about like having like a sick meal, and then coming out of that dream, I'd like reach for the meal, and it would always be under my pillow, and there was never anything there.
Oh.
You know,
I had that with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I got like
dream that you had.
yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh
in like
cards.
whatever, like middle school or something. I dreamt I had like, I opened a pack and I got like the sickest pull. I got like all these awesome cards. And I was just wrecking people in duels.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Well, come on, a little more advanced than Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh, really?
I know,
That's
yeah,
all
I know. But then I woke up and I was like, my cards.
No,
I have that still as an adult. I have dreams. I have all this money and stuff, and I wake
Yeah.
up and I'm like, but then I have the inverse, which is like I wake up or I dream and I've done something. I've betrayed someone in something, you know,
Uh-huh.
or I'm late to a thing at work, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, it wasn't real. You
Yeah.
know, but they feel so real, and you have the opposite feeling, which is like, thank fucking
I have
God.
dreams where I've like killed someone and struggle with the morality of it.
I had that dream. Like 3 nights ago. I had a dream that I killed a
Like a-
person, and then I couldn't. I cried. I was crying. I was weeping in the dream.
I couldn't
killed
handle
someone.
it. I'm like,
Yeah.
was it
Damn.
better to have lived in a world where I didn't kill someone? Should I live in the world?
Do you guys remember why you killed the people?
Usually something small.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. It wasn't specific to
A
a
real
person.
crime and punishment type dream, you know?
Well, that feels like your brain working out some morality, you know, legislative talk in
Let's
your
do
head.
like a thought experiment. Be like,
Yeah.
what would murder be like?
Yeah,
How
your
would you
brain.
deal with that?
That's your brain. Like that's how I like to picture my brain when I'm having those dreams. It's like there's like one guy, and he's like, "What should we watch today? Let's put on a murder mystery." It's like, well, Jerry Seinfeld had that joke, which is like night guy, which is night guy stays up, but that's like when your brain's awake. But I picture a guy in my brain who's just up all night, being like, "I gotta do something."
He's stuck in there.
Yeah, he's like,
he's like,
He's
oh
like,
man,
no
it's
one's-
been nice for too long. Zombie movie.
Yeah. He's like,
Zombies though in dreams are always the best because you were killing them and stuff.
Yeah, that one's always fun.
It might end badly, but there's always good moments.
I love like the action movie dreams.
I've
Yeah.
never had those. I've never had action
Oh,
movie
really?
dreams. I've only had dreams where I'm like, I've honestly, well, no, I've had regular dreams, but I've actually had a lot of sex dreams, and those feel
Whoa.
so real every time. Have you guys ever had sex dreams before?
Yeah, I
Hot
have.
Girl Summer.
Dude, one time
yeah.
I
Don't they
had
feel crazy real sometimes? They feel
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, of course.
I was
Those feel
I had
so real.
I was a cartoon pig, and I had sex with another cartoon pig.
What?
Yeah.
That's
So,
kind of hot, actually.
Oh my
That's
God.
kinda hot.
yeah.
Like you were
Pig sex. Yeah.
Just in mud.
Cartoon.
Rolling around.
Oh, that's the episode name.
Bright
the
pink-
pig sex one.
Bright pig. You know, the way a cartoon would be.
Curly tail. Did it like
Yeah.
straighten as you're going
No,
down
I don't
sex?
remember those details. I don't know
His
how.
eyes popped out of his head.
Wee.
Ooh, his tongue dropped out. Oh, God. No, I've always had sex. I've had sex with people in my dreams that, and I hate this about my brain, but I have sex with people I know in my dreams always.
That's
and it's
fine.
never someone
Yeah.
I'm directly in. Like they're like a. It's like I remember in college one time I had a super real. Oh boy, I hope no one from my college listens to this because they're gonna be like, "Who is it?" But it was someone I knew that I just had a class with. Didn't know her that well, but I knew her, and then I just had a sex dream about her, like a very real sex dream. And you're like, "Why am I? What is this?"
Yeah.
You guys ever have that? You guys ever have it about people you know?
I had one where we like it was like a dream where we went on like a date and we had like sex. We were also like hanging out the whole time, and I woke up like in love with this girl.
Really?
And we
This
had
is
like
someone you knew.
someone I knew, like barely knew each
It's very
other.
visceral when you're young, you know?
Yeah. I woke up. I was probably like 20 ish.
Yeah.
And I woke up being like, what's she up to?
You send him you slide the DM.
Dude,
Yo.
I remember in like middle school, I had a friend, a guy, and like I don't think we had sex, but we were in like bed naked together, and I was ashamed. I could not look at him.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't know that could be a normal dream and not
Yeah.
reflect your desires at all.
Yeah.
Not that there'd be anything wrong with it if they were there. But,
Yeah.
you know.
I've had dreams where I made out with a guy or something.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Tell me more.
The gay one.
The gay one. I've had dreams where I don't know if I've had sex with a dude or made out with a dude, but I've definitely had like I'm walking through the fields with men.
Holding hands.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like,
Me and you and me.
Yeah, it's
No
kind of
matter
like
how
it's kind
we
of
toss the dice.
it's kind of like romantic dreams. I have romantic dreams with men sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It happens. Sometimes it's the guy in your brain going like, oh, all these straight people. Let's watch let's watch someone else.
You know what? It's
You know.
2019. Let's get some representation
some-
on the screen. Let's get some
Yeah.
representation in this fucking head. And then I think that my least favorite dreams are the dreams where it's like I'm at the mall and I bought a shirt and you're like,
Yeah.
what is this guy in my brain? What's the guy upstairs doing on that night?
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, that one
Like,
time
what
I had
the
a
fuck
dream
are you watching?
just spreading peanut butter. That's
Yeah.
all I remember.
Yeah, you're like, what is this? That's the guy upstairs. That's the guy in your brain watching ASMR. That's what that is. That's
yeah,
like
yeah,
his
yeah,
version.
yeah.
He's like, he wants to know what, because you know what he is? He has night shift, and he wants to know what the day shift is like.
Oh,
He
yeah,
wants
yeah.
to know what the other guys get to
You
do.
watching ASMR videos?
Yeah. He's watching.
What's that day guy doing?
Yeah.
Peanut butter, but he doesn't really know. He doesn't get it.
It's like off. He's peanut buttering his foot. He's like, this is what he does,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's the upstairs guy trying to get involved with what the people do during the daytime. He's got the night shift.
Oh my god.
yeah, I used to always have dreams of being at work.
Yeah, those are the worst. Dreaming at when you have
That
a dream
sucks.
and then you have to go to work the next day. I have those like all the time. Those are my most consistent
Work
dreams.
dreams.
I would always dream about waking up early and going to work.
Oh.
And then I would be late for work. It was just too dramatic for me in the morning.
I have every once in a while you get like a perfect movie one where it's like it feels like it was like written. It's like there's like
Oh,
character
yeah.
development and like it has an ending.
Yeah.
When there's an ending, which happens like once every 5
It is
years.
hard to get an ending.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if you go back to sleep to
Yeah.
continue the dream, you ever do that?
Yeah.
I try.
I could never end it.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
keeps on going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
where's the creativity? Who
It's
are
like
these
a
writers?
5-year-old telling a story,
Yeah.
and then there's like a comment, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and then
You know what that is? When you have dreams like that, where they're like cinematic like that, that's the guys upstairs watching the Oscar season movies.
yeah.
Sweeps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like November. You know, that's in November.
I remember there was one in college that had it was like a detective going into an asylum to solve a murder, and then
You
like
were the detective in this. Or you were just
I don't
watching
even think I was a character.
it? You were just spectating.
Yeah, I was
You were
like,
watching
yeah,
it.
I was just watching it, and his like partner was like going with him, and then his partner ended up being the bad guy, and it all like came
fuck.
around, and I was like, and I woke up just being like, should I write a screenplay? And then like, I'll write down my dream, and then you know, I'm like, this
Oh,
is,
I've
I'm an
dreamed
idiot.
about writing jokes before. Remember that one that I ran past you guys?
Yeah.
I woke up in the morning and I go, what do you guys think about this? Talking about sex is like talking about your finances. People are uncomfortable with it as you get older, and you guys are like, "What?" It was so bad. That was such a bad
I didn't have finances
Dream.
when I was younger.
premise. I know. It
I also wasn't having sex when I was younger. so.
didn't make any sense. How often do you guys dream?
Dream
not
every
often.
night, bitch.
I wrote down one so long ago. I'm gonna try to find it. Sorry.
I haven't dreamt in a while.
You have. You just don't remember.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I had the 3 days
It's
ago.
a
I killed
precocious
someone.
child.
I killed someone in my dream
Oh man,
recently.
that's why you've
Oh, my
been
God.
forgetting them.
Forgetting, the dreams. Yeah, I gotta, I'm canceling out that part of my subconscious. This part's canceled. I dream when I'm stressed. When life is stressful, I dream more.
Dude, my dreams were always most vivid right before school.
Yeah, Sunday night dreams.
Oh, that too.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sundays were the worst growing up.
This was something I wrote down after a dream.
What is the year on this?
2014,
What's the date?
July 20th, almost
Whoa.
5 years ago. Is all I wrote was, oh, she's probably gonna go back to her job punching lifeguards. And I wrote that down,
That was
being
a
like,
joke.
that was the joke. That was like
Oh.
me waking up.
But you don't even remember the context.
No, I was going, I got it.
She's gonna go back to her job,
Her job,
punching lifeguards.
punching lifeguards.
She gets paid to punch lifeguards.
yeah. She's very good at
Maybe
it.
it tied in with that Toblerone joke you never figured out. you had.
I still have no idea.
Oh man,
Oh my
the
god.
Toblerone bit. We got
my
figure
dad.
that
Yeah,
out.
my dad.
We should make up a Toblerone bit
I know.
just to match your.
Tell the listeners what this is.
Because my dad this last Christmas in my stocking put Toblerones, and I got it and I pulled it out.
Tell them what a Toblerone. If no one knows what a Toblerone is,
it's like a luxury candy. I don't really know. It's like a luxury candy bar.
But it's not even. It's not like it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It is. It is.
It's good, but it's not.
But
You know
it's
what it
not.
is?
It's
It's
not
like-
like a. It's not like a truffle or something. You
It is
know?
$3.
It's a candy bar.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like the luxury.
it's like a it's like the smart water of candy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
smart water is like the fancy water.
Right,
It's that.
And it says just
Well,
like
describe because what makes it so luxury is I think it's the wrapping, right?
yeah, it's a wrapping. So it's like a triangle,
It's gold wrapping.
gold wrapping.
So-
Triangle-based candy too.
Yeah.
It's in the shape of a triangle, which you never see.
Nougaty.
Well, it's supposed to be like the Alps, right?
Again, adding
it-
to the
wow.
luxury.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I pull this out of my stocking, and I'm like, "Oh, Toblerone." And and my dad's just looking at me, and I'm like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Toblerone," and I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, like your joke," and I'm like, "What'd you say?" I'm like, what? And he's like, "You know your joke about Toblerones." I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's good," and then he just never.
You never found out.
I never found out.
Have you?
Did you try asking?
Yeah, I was gonna say you should. Yeah, maybe you should ask him
I should.
because maybe he remembers the joke enough to buy you a Toblerone for
Yeah,
Christmas.
I don't know
which
what
is
happened. I
very-
was like, it was just like, it was just in the middle of everything, and then he was like, "Oh, I gotta get the cinnamon rolls or something," and like disappeared.
And then
And
we
then-
had Toblerone in our cupboard for about 4 months.
Well, he gave me like 12 or something. not to boast, but
It was
And now we
real
have
high society.
I sold it and I've been living off it for months.
now we have then there was the running joke. We had a house bit we wanted to do potentially where because Toblerones fit into our cabinets in a way that you could stack them that they would just fit perfectly in
If
our
we could
cabinet.
fill our entire cabinet with Toblerones.
Yeah.
And so we were like, maybe we could buy like 500 Toblerone bars
You know
and
what?
fill a whole cabinet.
I'm glad we didn't do this in the springtime. 'Cause
Yeah, they would have melted.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think this was a plan for like the Christmas party or something. We were thinking about it.
Mhm.
And I this is how far I got. I looked up bulk Toblerone prices, and it was way too much money to buy Toblerones. It was like
Yeah.
I think it was $250 to buy like 30.
Wow.
Yeah,
But think of all that Toblerone.
I know.
Yeah.
And we'd live like kings.
Oh,
I
it'd
mean,
be
we'd
awesome.
have Toblerones. We would have if we filled the whole cabinet with Toblerones. We'd have Toblerones for a year.
At least it takes so long to eat a Toblerone.
Because you
can't
gotta
just-
unwrap every
Yeah.
section
I
of
used to,
it.
there used to be a chocolate you could only just get like at the airport. That's
Uh,
how I remember. 'em.
yeah. Maybe that's
Or in the UK they'd have them, but like,
Yeah.
can you get them at the store here?
I bought him at the bodega. Remember for
At
his
the bodega?
for his birthday, I bought him a Toblerone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who is? I mean, I know you did for a bit, but who is going in and buying a Toblerone at the bodega?
Pedro Gonzalez. Shout out Pedro Gonzalez. There was a period where he would show up to Mike's
With a Toblerone?
with a Toblerone.
Oh, he
like
would,
every time,
though.
and he'd be like, "Yo, break off a piece." He kind of like handed it around, and
You know what he was doing? He was swinging his dick around.
Look at this! I got this Toblerone
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
I remember I saw it. I was
Kit
like,
Kat, I share Toblerone.
I remember I saw it, and I was like, "Oh man, I didn't know Pedro had money like that." That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Honestly, walking in, that's like a good life bit too. If I came into work tomorrow and put a Toblerone on my desk, everyone would notice. Everyone would be like, "What is that?"
Like, whoa.
Or you go to lunch and then you unpack your sandwich or your food and then you take out a Toblerone. People be like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Well, it's like that's the thing is it's like a classy chocolate, but it's not like a good chocolate. Like if you those chocolate bars that are like usually like an it's like artisanal chocolate.
You know what's another?
There's a company in Seattle that's great, but they are like $9 for a bar.
Well, you know
I'll
what's
buy 'em.
you know what's another luxury candy is Ferrero Rochers.
Oh,
Those are
that's-
like the original
Yeah.
luxury candy.
Yeah.
And I don't think Toblerones are as good as Ferrero Rochers.
I agree.
Even
Yeah,
the
I
name
agree.
Ferrero Rocher is very
Ferrero Rocher.
That's very
There you go.
luxury. That sounds like the name of Roger Federer's wife.
I actually
Roger Federer
thought
and
of
Ferrero
those,
Rocher.
and I avoided bringing them up because I cannot say the name.
Ferrero Rocher. Try it.
Ferrero Rocher.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
That's it. Ferrero Rocher.
It sounds like
Ferrero Rocher.
a femme fatale character in a noir movie.
Yeah. Ferrero Rocher was, she set her husband up for insurance money or something, that's Ferrero Rocher is the one where you're like, if you show up with Ferrero Rocher, you're making a statement about something.
Because what? It's like $18 for a bite.
Yeah,
You
and they're
like-
little balls, and they're good.
But like, if
they're
you're
not
going
like-
to a dinner party, you're not going to pick up 3 Kit Kats.
But you're not going to bring Ferrero Rochers
Yeah,
either.
yeah. you could definitely do that.
You could bring Ferrero Rochers, and people will be like, I would never get this for myself.
Yeah.
That's the appeal of giving
And then
those
you all
as
eat them at
gifts.
the end.
All these candies, you give them as gifts because people are like, I would have never bought a Bounty bar or
Yeah,
or like
right.
whatever it is,
Or
But
a
you do want 'em.
Toblerone.
or Toblerone. Yeah. What's
Right?
it?
You do want them, though.
You do want them.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It would be a funny move. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe that'll be my go-to lunch bit. Is I'll go to lunch. I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts like I always do. Get a bagel with hash browns and then also buy a Toblerone and sit and eat it.
No
in
one
the
is going to
kitchen.
say anything, and you're going to be like,
Yeah, but guess what? I get to eat
You're
a
like-
Toblerone.
Did all those work?
Oh, and it's to the
oh,
point.
it's crazy that it's like sticking out of your pocket as you're walking around. You're like,
Well, you guys shit on my idea, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
you can get big ones, too.
You can get bigger Toblerones,
Yeah. I've got like
like a yardstick.
No, I think they're like fatter. It's
Oh,
like a double
yeah.
size.
No, they're not. They're not bigger than
I've
that.
got some big ones.
They're
I think
not.
I've seen. I think I know what you're talking about.
You guys have seen big Toblerones?
Yeah.
I don't buy this.
Like they're like fucking wide. They're girthy Toblerones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thick.
Yeah, thick 2 C's.
Yeah. How are we doing?
Yeah, how are we doing on time?
We started at 9:11. Was no one else paying attention?
Oh, so we're. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess we did the time.
It's pretty hot.
It was pretty hot.
You excited about the wedding this weekend?
No.
Wow.
It's a lot of stress surrounding it. Yeah.
You got a big suit.
I did get a big suit. I did get a too big
Yo, do you want to
suit.
go get that suit for the
Oh
camera?
my god.
All right, I'll get it.
Maybe I'll just post it on the
Oh,
Instagram
man.
or something.
Shaquille O'Neal suit.
It is. It's.
It is about 10 sizes too big for Casey.
What is a 46 long?
Yeah.
And he's a 38 regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's from the 80s or something.
Do you how many suits do you have?
I have 3, but none of them really fit right.
Right.
There's something wrong with every one of them.
Dude, mine, when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got mine, I was like, man, I'm like overweight right now, and I have to buy it this like one size too big.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lost weight, and it didn't fit. And now it's too small for me. Oh, man,
Oh.
look at this.
Here's my big suit. There it is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, turn around for the camera.
Oh,
Show
boy.
it off. Actually, it doesn't look that bad.
You think it fits?
I feel like it fits, like I said earlier, like it fits like a cool kid going to band concerts.
Oh man, I do. Yeah, I like the idea of having a bunch of suits.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a bunch of suits too. I have one suit, and that's it.
Yeah,
And I never understood, like, if people had to wear suits every day, I still don't get it because I have to pay for dry cleaning every
Yeah.
week.
Summer, that's tough.
Yeah.
You got to get like a linen. Can you even get a linen suit?
I just, no matter what it is, it's all too much work.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I don't know. All right, should we wrap up on a question?
Have you seen a ghost?
Yeah, have you seen a ghost? Right
Let us know
in.
if you saw a ghost. Right in. This has been Crush Boys Podcast
4?
number 4, episode 4.
Look at that.
Check us out at Crush Boys Pod on Instagram. We're gonna get videos up, and we got any tags for you guys? At
Damian Holmes, 2 S's.
Kiss me on 2 ends.
at Dwayne Cullen over here. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I like ending on thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
All right, that's a wrap.